All right, so you're still watching QTV Breakfast, and of course, we do continue with Comrade Chandela Mkondo from the media team of the Patriotic Front as we look at current happenings and, of course, trending stories that have been making news as well. Comrade, thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Breakfast Show. How are you? How is October treating you, by the way?
Well, good morning. I think October is treating us so far so good, especially that it has started with that special touch of the olden days, where we even had some rains. So this October is so special. It reminds of the 80s. So it comes with that flavor of the rains itself, and then also to remind us that maybe as we progress, it could be maybe somehow the El Nino could be exiting. So basically, it's treating us well, and it comes with that freshness of independence, the independence in the air.
Definitely,
yes.
Definitely. This week, this week we have what people generally would love to call a long weekend, and this long weekend has been facilitated by the Day of Prayer, Reconciliation, Forgiveness, and of course national unity as well. Just as a party, how are you taking this coming Sunday? How is the mood?
Basically, as a party, we do not want to be seen to champion the Day of Prayer. But basically, this is a national thing, and our position is to demonstrate that we are leaders, and being leaders is that we don't need to be seen to be partisan towards the day, because other people, they have taken it, because the president is coming from the Patriotic Front. They have taken it to be more like a Patriotic Front-driven Day of Prayer, but basically this one, it's by the government, and the ruling government is spearheaded by, is it the same president whom they have tried to say, no, he declared this one in the spirit of partisan politics. So for us, we are having that of a sit-back approach, so that we let others to lead. So basically, it's important as the leaders, we have gone out to tell our people that this day, just like the way the declaration was done of Zambia as a Christian nation, it's in the same spirit. For there will always be a person who make pronouncement, but in this case, it was one Edgar Chagwalungu who declared that day as a day of reconciliation, and then also prayer and fasting. So basically, it's a very important day as a political party, and we also take this special date within our party structures to reconcile ourselves, especially that reconciliation is very cardinal, because there are always these suspensions and then also disciplinary measures that comes as we continue steering this party. You find that there are all those things. So as a party, I've always seen that we have taken such huge steps towards that reconciliation within the party itself, and party functionaries, they are given a new start within the party. So
the other camp has already made their indications and, of course, their intentions clear. They're not going to take part in this year's prayer and fasting day. Just what is your take on that?
It's unfortunate because, from the time it was declared, I think this could be now the 5th year they have never participated. And we look forward to people to sober up, to mature, that we move as one country, as one nation, so that we don't politicize issues, because this day, it's meant well for the people of Zambia. It's meant for everyone. It's not meant for one political party or one political party president, but it's for everyone. And we'll continue appealing to our friends out there that all these pronouncements, just like we have seen with time, I think it will settle, because even when Chiluba declared Zambia as a Christian nation, we had people who resisted that change. So basically, you see, with time, who are going to have another opposition that will accept the position as it stands today. But for all those people who have these problems, it's unfortunate because as a nation, this is the only way ruling government can demonstrate that they are committed to dialogue, they are committed to reconciliation. They are also committed to make sure that we inculcate in our people the Christian values. And that alone, that day, I think it stands a very good foundation on which everybody can stand and then say that let's forge ahead even as we go into the new year.
Interesting. Wind of change. There are some people who feel in the political circles there is a wind of change, and next year after August, we might perhaps see a different leader, a different political party coming into power, and of course continuing from from there. Just how do you look at that?
Wind of change, when there is wind of change, you can see the wind of change. Just getting back to 1964 itself, when we had the colonial masters, and then also Kenneth Kaunda was there and his people. The wind of change, people really wanted to get rid of the old system, and that was the colonial system. And it came to pass. And in 1972, again, the people of Zambia decided to go under one-party system. And the Kaunda didn't find it very difficult to go into that new wind of change. And in 1991, there was another wind of change, which was the third, and that was they wanted to get back to multi-party politics. And this time around, people did not just want to get to the new getting back to the old multi-party plural politics, but they wanted also to change the presidents. The person who was sitting at that time, President Kaunda, and we saw to it that Kaunda even got a paltry 30%, almost 80%, 70% went to the MMD, and the numbers in the legislature, we saw the MMD getting almost over 125 as opposed to 25 which the UNIP got. And in 2001, people are calling for a wind of change, but what we saw some fragmented sort of politics which came into play, and Manawasa carried on the day with a 28%, followed by Mazoka 27%, others were 18, 17, some percent. And in 2011, that was almost after another 10 years. That's where now people related to that change which was happening. But if you look, we had the three parties which had participated. The others, they had gone for UPND. The others, they had gone for MMD. And then ourselves, the Patriot Front, we emerged. And if you look, yes, there was change of the president, but you cannot ultimately say that there was a wind of change. But people really wanted to change. The PF at 37%, somewhere there, the MMD at 36%, and then also the UPND had also a small, they had 30% somewhere there. So basically, when people are talking about wind of change, the best way of talking about wind of change is when the way it happened in 1991. Where somebody had more than 50%, almost 70% went to the MMD. And this time around, if you look at what is pertaining on the ground, the UPND seems to be disadvantaged in any election that we have. They are not scoring. So how do they validate their position that there is a wind of change?
Well, it's not only
here in Lusaka, they lost.
It's not only UPND at play at the moment. There is also now Felix Mutati who's come up with MDC, and on top of that, there is also NDC. under Honorable Kambwili and, of course, other political parties. And I love the fact that, you have tabulated it so well. From 2001 up to 2011, that was a 10-year gap.
Yes.
From 2011 to 2021, there is a 10-year gap. So don't you think that is similar to 2001 to 2011?
If you look at the fragmentation of the opposition, it has gone to the west now. With the coming in of the Mutatis, if you look at Siki had come on board, Arikalava had come on board, and the UPND, which is supposed to be the main alliance partner in all this setup, seems to be losing the grip. And the coming in of this MDC, it's a true confirmation that people do not have any faith in the UPND. They cannot see UPND as an alternative party to the Patriotic Front. And the other thing which speaks volume about the same, it's unfortunate that these other smaller parties, they're just fighting within that 1%. Because if you look at the elections, the immediate past election of 2016, we got 50 plus 1. And the UPND was somewhere like almost 48, somewhere there. So if you look at the mathematics there, these smaller parties, they're just fighting within a 1.2. So basically, the coming in of all these other parties, it's irrelevant, and they are in fact making the position of the UPND to dwindle further, especially that some of these political parties which we have seen, which have come up, they have never participated before in an election like the NDC. The only first time they did it was they had partnered with the UPND, and it got too individualistic over the victory when they won there in Iran. So they differed again. So basically, we don't see any wind of change. We see maybe a further opposition dwindling window of change in their setup. For us, the Rukasha by-election, the Manzawombwe by-election, and then the current rural by-election on the councillor level shows that we are a growing party. In the Western province, it's showing that we are a growing party. Here in Lusaka, it's the same.
Don't you think Felix Mutati is a force to reckon with, especially that at some point he served under the Patriotic Front government?
Well, it's, in fact, it is a negative. Although it is his own constitutional right, we cannot stop him from participating at the presidency level. But what we have known is that he has stood as an MP before, and under us he was a nominated member of parliament, and he was also at the splinter group under the MMD. So the Mutati party, it's basically the dwindling of the MMD. We see the diminishing return. They have been diminishing to the west now. This is now the end of the MMD. And you remember very well in 2016 we had told the people of Zambia that MMD have swallowed it, and we swallowed the most strategic individuals who came from the Eastern Bloc, and that on itself, we are very thankful to the people who came from the MMD. Now they are 100% in the Patriotic Front. So for us, we have been growing. We are a consolidating party. We have been consolidating our gains. So look at the position where we are coming from. In 2001, we had the one MP. In 2006, we went as far as 48. In 2011, we pushed ourselves to almost 60. Today, we are over 80. So basically, we are still struggling, and our position, that's why a lot of people, they have been saying that we have never stopped the campaign through this developmental agenda that we have rolled and bankrolled across the nation. We have that energy of being youthful because we are still a growing party. So basically for us, when people, they are saying the Patriotic Front, it could be going into an exit direction, but for us, the result on the ground, they are showing that we are a growing party, and we have been making new gains in the new grounds of the opposition itself. So for for us, the key word is that we are not like the MMD, which came in 1991 with a 70% or 80%. But for us, we came in with a very small minimal range that was almost 38%. We have moved on with Edgar Chagwalungu now to 50%. Very soon, we are thinking of maybe this 2021, we are going to hit even 60 to 70%, because we have seen our friends, they are disillusioned. There is lack of leadership. There is lack of trust among themselves. And this is the reason why you see the Mutatis now, they are coming up with their own political parties. It's because he's also a person, as you rightly said, worked with us, and I think he failed to perform as the finance minister. He did not work in line with our manifesto, and then also our program, that is the 7th National Development Plan. So that's the reason why he was thrown out. And we have seen from his exit to where we are, even the budget itself seems to be pro-poor now, as compared to the one which he used to look at the aspect of always the tax, forgiving those who had liabilities with the tax authorities. So for us, it's a plus. It's a plus in the sense that they are coming on board. It reduces further. And, already people, they are saying that this party itself, it's not original. It's just something which has been copied from South Africa, or from Zimbabwe, sorry. So he should have come up with something with that drive of being original.
Comrade, thank you so much. We'll definitely knock out your office very, very soon for other pertinent issues concerning national development.
Thank you very much. I'm always happy to be here.
Definitely.
Thank you.
All right, so you're still watching QTV Breakfast, and of course, I've been talking to Mr. Chandra Mkondo, from who is the media admin from the Patriotic Front, as well, touching one or two critical issues. The breakfast show continues. For now, we take a short break. We'll be back shortly.